So the Sama, also called Samal or Isama, is one of the three ethnic groups in the Sulu archipelago. So the others being the Yakan and the Tausug. The etymological origin of the word is not yet clear. So although one conjecture is that Sama may have derived from the word sama-sama, meaning togetherness. The language of the Sama is Siama or Sinama, also called Bahasa Sama, Isla Sinama, and Pamong Sinama. So other groups of speaking the Sinama language or variations thereof are the Sama Dilaot, also known as Bajau, the Hama Mapun, West Sama of Cagayan Island, the Yakan, and the Balangini of the Samares Island group.
So, Samal tribe history. The history of the Sama Bajau people in the Philippines began in Zamboanga circa 1000 AD. So, AD means Anno Domini, Latin for in the year of the Lord. So, Sama Dilaw settlements were originally located along the Basilan Strait in the Zamboanga city area, where they developed their own distinct variant of the Sama language. In the next 100 years, as Arab, Chinese, and Brunei merchants turned the Sulu area into a trading center, the various Sama groups began to establish settlements on its islands, including Hulu, which had become a major trading center. So nahimo ang nahimo ang city of Zamboanga nga trade center sa mga Arab, Chinese, and Brunei because ang good ang source of income sa mga Sama Dilaot is kanang more on marine. So kay kusog man ang kwarta sa mga marine products, dito gihimo nila ang Zamboanga o trading center. So next is they preceded the Tausug who arrived in Hulu circa 13th century. The seafaring Sama Dilaot supplied the market with marine products while the land-based Sama provided the forest products. So ang Sama Dilaot nga naa sa dagat, sila mo'y mag-produce og mga marine products like mga isda, mga corals, nga something mabaligya sa nila. So ang mga Sama Dilaot sad nga naa sa forest, sila mo'y mag-produce og kanang mga kahoy nga himuon og bangka nga mo'y ginagamit nila sa paglayag or pagkuha og mga marine products, and sa mga balay kay ang Sama Dilaot is naa sila sa stelts, naa sila sa mismo sa dagat nagpuyo. So later on I will show you nga unsa ang stelts, unsa ang mga meaning sa mga puy-anana nila. So attracted by the same economic opportunities, the Tausug began to move from their original site in northwest Mindanao into Sulu. So kay napulihan naman sila sa mga Tausug nga which is sila man jud una nakauna unta dito, pero originally ang Tausug taga Zamboanga jud, pero kay lagi Sama Dilaot is ila ang source of income is pagpanguha og mga marine products, mga pagpangisda. So ni-proceed sila dito kay kusog man ang dito ang pagpanagat. So kay attracted na sila sa same economic opportunities. So ang mga Sama Dilaot is ni laylo na lang sila kay ang Tausug man jud ang ila man jud tong lugar ang Zamboanga. So subsequently, the Tausug established the Sulu Sultanate, and the Sama adjusted to their domination in any of the three ways. They merged with the Tausug population, moved to other islands, or worked under Tausug control to continue collecting marine products. So ang mga Sama Dilaot na nahabilin dito sa Zamboanga is kay nagtukod man ang Tausug establish the Sulu Sultanate. So gihatagan sila og murag ilaang angay gamon nga they merge with the Tausug populations, musagol sila sa Tausug populations, or move sila sa laing islands, or work sila together with the control of Tausug peoples to collect marine products. So moto murag ila na giling gibaharan sila nga unsa man og sagol mo namo mo ninyong angay gamon, pero og dili mo musagol namo, so pwede mo muhawa din sa Zamboanga. Kay lagi ang Tausug may nakauna sa Zamboanga, ila dyan ang place. So Spanish Chronicles is murag sila may taga pagsalaysay. Refer to the Sama Laot as Lutao, whom they also identified as the Orang Laot. men of the sea gypsies, Badjao, and Samal of the sea, whom they found inhabiting the coast and seas of southern Mindanao and the Sulu archipelago, particularly Hulu and Basilan. However, the Lutao were not Moro pirates. Being a sea nomads and declaring no fealty to any ruler, they adhered to their own indigenous people. So kay agi lagi sa sige ra sila naa sa dagat, so mailhan na sila mga Moro pirates. Kay mauman jud na kuan nila kanang mauman jud na murag life jud sa mga Samal tribe na andun sila halos sa dagat. So kay dili man sila mutuo og mga dagko pa nila, di sila mutuo og mga tausug people nga gikontrol sila, kay ila ang mas i-adhere nila, mas sundo nila ang ila ang own definition sa religion nila, which is the Samal tribe. So next is the Sama Dilaot have continued to be displaced by non-Sama migrants. So ang Sama Dilaot na continue na og puli sa mga dili Sama migrants, particularly the Tausug. So yeah, murag na napulihan na sa mga Sama Dilaot ay napulihan na sa mga Tausug ang mga Sama Dilaot, who continue to claim economic and political benefits for themselves. Nga ang mga Tausug na mo'y nag-claim og mga economic and political benefits nga para silang kaugalingon nga para unta sa mga Sama Dilaot. So in what was therefore Sama Dilaot territory, in 1970, the harvesting of bakaw, mangrove, bark of mangrove trees, or kanang nabitaw sa mostly matubo siya sa mga punong kanang to prevent kanang dagko nga balod. Then muna siya bakaw. So used for the processing of leather and cultivating of agar or sa ato agar na siya nga pwede gamon og mga chinelas. Muna siya ikuan kanang source of income, something dito sa manukan. Muna ilang ikuan i-produce kay kuan usama po ng manukan sa mga source of income ang source of income nila kay kanang marine products sad. So seaweed na siya sa tuwa agar-agar. For the Japanese market, attracted Tausug settlers to Tawi-Tawi. So next, where they became the Sama Dilaot's competitors. So ang mga Tausug nahimo na silang dili lang sila mo'y nipuli sa mga Sama Dilaot, dili lang sila mo'y murag nakuan na ulo-ulo or nataas, sila pud mo'y nahimong competitors pag-abot sa mga business nila. So Sama Dilaot's competitor as suppliers for this export industry, so which is katong mga agar-agar, mga bakhaw nga mo jud toy kuan kanang palitunon sa mga nag-export dito sa Tawi-Tawi. So a few years later, in 1973, the creation of Tawi-Tawi as a new province opened up more opportunities such as employment in both government and private agency, particularly for Tausug migrants. Kay ang mga Tausug, sila man dyan nag-isig-isig sa mga people mo, kung matingala mo ang Tawi-Tawi nag-open na og opportunities for Tausug, kay it is because ang Sama, dili man gud sila murag mo prefer og mga work nga gawas sa dagat, kay sila as a Sama people sa dagat man gid sila gapuyo, sa dagat sila nangilabuhi mo. Ang Tawi-Tawi is nag-open na siya og government employment para sa mga tao, so it is because para dili na sila maghilabot, dili na sila magpuli-puli or mag-isig-isig sa mga Sama Dilaot or Sama people. So however, the eruption of the war between the Muslim secessionists in the Philippine national government triggered a massive evacuation of populations from Hulu and Sulu. The war escalated after two-day Battle of Hulu in February 1974. The residents of the island, predominantly Tausug, fled to Tawi-Tawi and Zamboanga by the thousands. The war quickly spread to neighboring Sama Dilaot populated islands such as Tungkalang, Luok, Tulay, Sintangkay, and Sanga-Sanga. So dito naabot nga war sa ilaon sa government, Philippine national government, and the Muslim kanang murag gagubat na dito. So dito murag naapektuhan ang mga tao nga sulod sa kanang ilaang community, which is dito sa lugar nga Tungkalang, Luok, Tulay, Sitangkay, and Sanga-Sanga, which is dito po nagpuyo ang mga Sama Dilaot. So, the presence of an air force base on Sanga-Sanga Island subjected it to the bombardment and the gunfire from both sides, hence triggering the residents' abandonment of the island, aggravating their situation for the Sama de Laut where the recurring invasions of pirates into their coastal villages and the rise of dynamite fishing. So, ang mga Sama de Laut, ilang gipasangilan ang mga tausog and nga sila mo'y aside sa sila mo'y magpuli-puli, mag-ulo-ulo, sila mo'y mag-isig-isig sa mga Sama people, sila pud mo'y murag nahimong reason nga nung nawalan sila og kuan mga panginabuhian, mga mahal sa buhay kay agi pod sa kanang ilaang ka murag agresibo. And then coastal villages and the rise of dynamite fishing. Kay ang kuan pod daw so kung magkuan sila mga sila mga marine products is magamit jud sila og dynamite fishing which is makaguba jud sa ato ang kadagatan. So since then their continual exodus toward the north has left a trail of Sama de Laut communities along coastal areas, riverbanks, and other such bodies of water in urban centers through the Visayan Islands and farther north towards Luzon. In Barangay Tambacan, Iligan City, Lanao del Norte, the first wave of Sama de Laut migrants consisting about 30 Sama de Laut individuals comprising 4 households arrived in 1999. So, in 1999, pagkaabot sa Iligan City, Lanao del Norte, ang mga Sama de Laut, which is, as ato ang generation is, abi na itong dito na judikan ang mga Sama de Laut, pero dili di ay, ang gigikanan di ay sa Sama de Laut is, gikan sila sa Zamboanga. So, kay kuan man, na-move sila sa Lanao del Norte, dito na sila, ang unang naabot dito is 30 individuals comprising 4 households. So, upatra ay 30 na sila ka mga tao nga Sama de Laut nga mo comprises of upatra ka balay. Arrived in 1999. So, they had come from Sulu where according to them, they had suffered loss of lives and livelihood caused by a asog pirates. Yes, as I said earlier nga, agi jud ang kuan jud sa mga Sama people, dili jud nilang i-blame sa ilang pagkawala sa mga mahal sa buhay, silang mga source of income, silang mga kung sila is dili jud ang katong pag-successionist sa Muslim and sa Philippine government, but sa mga tausog pirates sa jud mao jud na ilang blame nila sa tanan nga mo na to nag-migrate na sila kay agi lagyan ng mga samok. So some had become indentured servants to wealthy Asog fishermen. By 2005, the Sama de Laut population in Barangay Tambacan had grown to 150 comprising 20 households. So, kaya ang mga nabilin dito nga mga Aasog or Samal people is nahimo na silang servants sa wealthy Asog fishermen. So, nahimong servants sa mga dato nga mga tausog nga ang source of income is pagpanagadsad. So by 2005, the Sama de Laut population in Barangay Tambacan had grown to 150 comprising 20 households. So from 30 Sama de Laut, nahimo na silang 150. From comprising 4 households, nahimo na sila og 20 households in 2005. So in Zamboanga City, Sama de Laut settlements are on the coastal parts of Barangay Rio Hondo, Mariki, Arena Blanco, Talug, Sungay, Maasin, and Recodo. In Davao City, a mixed Sama settlement includes a Sama de Laut population of 184 households or about 1,470 individuals. So, the time passed by na nag-evolution na ang mga Sama de Laut gikan sa 50 ay sa 150 nahimo na sila og 124 household ay 20 household karon nahimo ng 124 household dayon from 150 individuals nahimo na siya og 1,470 individuals. So nagsettle na gid sila dito nga lugar which is dito sa Barangay Tambacan o dito sa Davao City, pero like kuana na sila kanang Barangay Tambacan sa Sulu ay sa Lanao del Norte, and then sa Davao City nag-mix na dito ang mga Sama de Laut. lain-lain na mga sila sama badyaw, daghan man silang same, ay daghan na sila lain-lain na ngalan, pero same as religion na jud na sila sama ra jud. So conversely, the Sama Dilag population in their traditional location has shrunk, as exemplified by that in Tawi-Tawi, which in the 1960s numbered 1,600 but by the 1990s was down to 250 agi atong kuan na kanang explosion mong nagamay na sila. Then thus if the Sama Dilag are observed to have non-aggressive culture, so dili pas-pas ila ang kuan ilang pagdaghan sa ilang population. So this is only because a boat-dwelling people kay agi sad sa ila ang pagkamanlalayag or agi sa ilang pagka sigirag naa sa dagat, dili mong nakaingon sa ang mga nagsadi, dili gid sila non-aggressive culture. So ay non-aggressive culture gid sila. So they have historically had the option to flee to wide open sea rather than to fight. So kuan sila, grabe guys na pagpaubos sa mga tausog people, kaya mas dipili na lang nila nga managat or maadto dito sa lawod kaysa sa musukol pa. Kay at the first place, tausog man jud ang kusog kayo manguan sila magdaog-daog or magkuan sila ka ng control sa ilaon. So mao ni siya ang lipa. Lipa is kanang bangka nga naay mismong balay. And this is the stilt houses. So, mo ni gitawag na dili sila non-aggressive people, it is because naa sila sa mismo nagpuyo sa bangka. Mo naging na sila nga dili sila pas-pas mo produce og mga tawo kay it is because ang mga kuan magud ang mga Sama Dilag is sige rag panginabuhi, mao jud na ilaan sige rag panglaya, sige rag maglayag sa kadagatan. And mo ni siya stilt houses. Kanang balay nga naadjud sa mismo sa dagat. So diri pod magapuyo ang mga taos ay ang mga Sama Dilaot people. So the livelihood of the Sama Dilaot Badyaw people. So the most important occupation among Sama groups is fishing. Yes, as I said, nga mo na ilang main source of income. At the same time, shell and seaweed gathering for the international market has become a primary occupation for some communities. So, katong shell, seaweed and kanang corals, mo na ila ang ipadala sa international market. Mao pod na isa sa ilang nahimong primary occupations or primary nga mga ipangbaligya aside sa mga isda. So, traditional sea products that are still gathered are pearls, mother of pearl. So ang mother of pearl is lahi na sila. So later on ako ipakita ang mga pictures. So tripang, seashells, and tortoise shells. Besides sa cassava, ilang kinin is kamuting kahoy, which is their staple food or ilang main food. Tenant and small land-owning farmers produce rice. So, ang mga nag-abang sa mga gamay ng mga land or sa mga gamay ng mga kayutaan, sila may mag-produce of rice. Sila may mag-produce of coconuts. Sila may mag-produce of hemp. Hemp means abaka. Ang abaka sa ato amo na siya ginagamit og pagama og bags, banig, and everything nga pwede mahimo og kanang design sa balay. In the southern part, the Sama combine both farming and fishing. So, sa southern part sa Lanao is dito na nagsagol ang farming and fishing. So a few have become middlemen, taking over some of the trade dominated by Chinese. So ang uban kay nahimo na ang middleman kanang mamamakyaw sa mga baligya nga ikuan sa murag sila may magpakyaw din sila sa may magbaligya for kanang recycling sa ila ang kwarta. So, muna siya ang pearls. Muna siya ang mother of pearls. So, ang mother of pearls, kaning pearls is magamit ko na siya para gamon o kanang mga pintas. Ang mother of pearls, pwede na siya magama og singsing. Pwede ko na siya magama og pintas. Pero mostly, ato makita is pearl naman siya magamit og pintas, singsing. Pero kaning, mo siya himuon og form. Ay, mo siya i-form jud sa singsing. So, mo ni siya tripang, murag ulod sa dagat. And tortoise shell, kanang kuan, shell sa bao. So next is, some Sama communities have become identified with their particular economic activities. So, ang ubang Sama Dilaut is na-identified nimo siya kuan from their particular economic activities. For example, the Sama Simunol are known for buras. The Sama Simunol is known for buras or rattan mat with painted designs and pottery. The Sama Sibuto for both building and wood carving. The Sama Balimbing for drying food and sea products. The Sama Tapol for producing atis or sugar apple and mandarin oranges. So mandarin oranges is kanang unsay kana usually nga makita nato sa market ng mga orange. Then the Sama Laminusa for tipo, pandanus mat, waving, then bag making and pearl diving. The Sama Manubol for fishing. So yes, kana katong mga example is dito nila nato ma-identify kung unsa na sila. For example, na mag-produce og mga isda. So sila ang mga tawagan nila is Sama Manubol. Ang mag-produce og mga kanang pottery making or painted with mat with painted designs mo na sila may Sama Simunol. So mo ni siya ang Sama Simunol pottery. Mo ni siya may usual nato makita nga kanang ginagama pero dili man jud kanang magamaan na Sama Simunol pero na-jud na sila yung main nga design kanang ilaon na jud pero wala man sa internet akong subay. So Sama Simunol buras or rattan not with painted design mo jud ginagama sa mga Sama Simunol. Ngayon ani rattan made of rattan na siya or kanang ay dili lahi man ang rattan and abaka. So man siya made of rattan. Unya ako ipakita ninyo sa sadang kuan gamit sa abaka. So Sama Sibuto wood carving. So man siya Sama Sibuto wood carving. Sama Laminusa mats and bags. Muni siya murag mo man gagawin ni siya ag katong ay mo ni siya ag para sa ay ang ginagamit sa mga abaka nga nuon og bag and banig mo ni. Sama Laminusa mats and bags. So Mamahi stars play a significant role in the lives of Sama fisher folk, seafarers, and farmers. So, sama sa atuasan, kung ato-ato, regular ay kanang usual nga mananagat ra, daghang man jud sa akong nahibalan, ilaong timailhan sa pagpanagat is kana man jung bulan. If ever buwan, bulanon, dili kay ka makakuha og naay isda kas namang isda nga dili makuha sa bulanon na koy mga isda nga makuha sa bulanon like kanang mga tuloy or kanang murag mayag ilang mata basta bulanon and then mga lain pong creatures sa dagat. So and some fisher for seafarers and farmers. So ang farmers sa atoa pag daghang stars dayon as far as I know pag daghan daw stars dayon magtanong ka sa mutag lubi daghan daw kag maani pohon kung daghang stars dapat kuan daw unig magtanong ka is gabi nga naay kuan ka ng taog dayon daghang stars murag sa ato pa as kanang kuan ra normal people ra kuan jud siya kanang part po na siya sa ato ang kuan indigenous nga kanang indigenous mindset ano? Indigenous tinuunghan na to. So these are used as navigation, guides, omens, and indicators for the various aspects of fishing and planting. So kaning stars mo daw himuon nila navigation guides, omens, and indicators for the various aspects of fishing and planting. Mo siya gamon nila timailhan. The constellations are named after their fishing and sea-related activities, mamahi kagang or crab, mamahi stingray, ay mamahi pagi or stingray. Kung kanang nga pagi is usually mamahi rin na dugang anak pero ang pagi is kanang paano jud siya? Normal nga pagi ra jud. So bunta, pufferfish or kanang kuan butiti sa ilaon makaon din na pero sa tuang murag di man ta kay mo nagwala kay na sa tuang manguha og butiti kay makakuha man gani ang mananagat murag buyan na pud nila kay feeling nila dili magugod na makaon pero sa ilaon magakuha gid sila ana. So strings, prong, spear used to catch fish. Bobo, rectangular bamboo fish trap, and anak dato, a fisherman poised to spear a puffer fish with his sahapang. So, anak dato is a fisherman poised, kanang magpurma na siya daan to spear to para magkuha og puffer fish or kanang magkuha og puffer fish nga kanang butiti na iyang gigamit is sahapang or kaning three-pronged spear used to catch fish. So, mo ni siya ang sahapang. Mo ni ginagamit sa anak dato para magkuha og magkuha og puffer fish or butiti. So, mo ni siya ang sahapang, mo ni bubo, mo ni usual ko na tumakitan diri ni na that nothing's new. So, sama seafarers rely particularly in the Mamahi Utara, the North Star, for direction. So, meaning, kung sa North Star, daghan kaayo og kuan, ay North part is daghan kay stars. So, meaning, daghan dito og mga isda. So, the other stars are used for references for the specific route as well. So, ang uban kong star na kung asa dapit ang part nga dagang star, dito po murag feeling nila dito sa sila makakuha. So, the appearance of the rectangular constellation Bubu is used as a good omen because it drops many stars inside it, thus indicating a good catch and good weather for the fisher folk. So, next is some seafarers consult the constellation when they are planting crops. The appearance of Saluka, the coconut constellation, marks the season for planting coconuts. The appearance of Batik, which represents a spear trap used in hunting wild pigs, indicated when it is a time to set the dates for clearing the fields for kaingin farming. So, stars sa sandiago ng bahi ang basihan sa mga farmers and same as sa mga seafarers na sama. So, maura to siya. So, some farmers consult the constellation when they are planting crops. The appearance of Saluka, the coconut constellation. So, ang appearance daw sa lubi, mo na ila ang kuan ka ng timailhan na kuan na ba kung sa ato ati, kuan na ka ng kasi tawag ikat sa labi. Some farmers consult the constellations when they are planting crops. The appearance of Saluka, the coconut constellation, marks the season for planting coconuts. So, ang appearance daw sa coconut, mo na siya timailhan para mo na ba'y season para magkupra or season para sa pagtanong ng mga coconuts. Then, the appearance of batik, which represents a spear trap used in hunting wild pigs, indicates when it's time to the set dates for declaring the fields for kaingin farming. So, maragi hapon ang trap, may himuan nila o basihan kung pwede na ba mag-hunt o mga wild pigs and mag-clear na sila sa mga land nga makuan o maapektuhan o kaingin farming. So, maura to siya ang tanan nga kuan bahin sa sama dilaot nga history and sa ila ang source of income. So the next is the Sama political system. So, Sama political system. In pre-Islamic times, the Sulu archipelago was composed of small communities called Banwa, each defining its own island territory and headed by a dato or chief. So, Banwa means kana ang private land sa mga Samal people or Bajau. The national government is represented at various levels by officials like the mayor and councillors, but the barangay captain is usually the dato or panglima, who is elected because of the following qualifications. So, kanang ilang mga national government nila is naasad sila kanang lahi-lahi nga mga officials like the mayor and councillors. Dayon ang ilang mga officials kay before sila officials kay nasad sila yung qualifications. One is he is the descendant of Kasalipan or the nobility. Then he is gifted with elmo or wisdom. Then possesses traits appropriate to a leader such as honesty and fairness. Officiates at religious celebrations and arbitrates and counsels in matters in dispute. So ilang national government, mga councilors nila is dili lang sila kay kanang sa barangay lang.
isasad sila nga kanaang iba kanang isasad sila mga dato or panglima sa ilang community. Then mo dili lang sila kay sa barangay mo kanaang mo serbisyo bitaw sa kuan pod kanaang sa ilaang simbahan na ginana. He bases his decisions on both the adat and national laws. Some dato or panglima are believed to have the magical powers of bosong or curse that can cause illness or barakat blessings. So ilaang kuan, ilaang mga ilang barangay captain, since kuan man siya kanang pilisan siya madato or panglima nila, they believe that kuan kanang pwede sad sila parang ito anang tawagan kasi baby. So, he bases his decisions on both the adat and national laws. Some dato or panglima are believed to have the magical powers of bosong or curse that can cause illness or barakat blessings. So ang ilaang kuan, ang ilaang barangay captain or panglima is they believe sab sila nga kanaang naasab sila ay power bitaw nga kanang mudaot or kanaang or barakat or blessings sa kanang pwede sad sila mo blessings sa kanaang ilaang like sa kanang sa mga balay nila, pwede sab sila. On the other hand, the duties of an official who is not a traditional leader are to inform the community about government policies. So dili lang kay ang ilang duties sa mga official kay kanang leader lang nga kuan kanang sa barangay nga kanaang palitan like to collect taxes for the sultan who claims property rights over certain products such as pearls, to supervise government projects and to resolve disputes beyond the panglima's jurisdiction. So let's proceed the Samal tribe culture and customs and traditions. The Mataan or nuclear family usually lives initially with the husband's family as a dependent unit, especially if the couple are young. The Magdanakan is a household consisting or more than one Mataan. A couple that lives as a separate unit builds a home near the family of the wife or the husband. So, pareha sa kanaang kabantay mo karon nga inid ka na magbinyo, then ang babae kay dito siya usually kanang mupuyo sa kanang husband's family. Then, kampong is the kin group, members of whom ritually affirm their closeness during important holidays in an act called mag-ampon, when they clasp and kiss one another to symbolize mutual forgiveness of past transgression. So, nasab sila, kanang bitaw, adlaw bitaw nga kanaang kampong is a kin group, members of whom ritually affirm their closeness during important holidays in an act called mag-ampon, when they clasp and kiss one another to symbolize mutual forgiveness or past transgression. So both family nila na sila ay na may holidays nga kanaang na sila important holidays nga kanang bitong mag-celebrate din kanaang sitawag ani kanang mag sila kanaang Kampong is a kin group, members of whom ritually affirm their closeness during important holidays in an act called mag-ampon, when they clasp and kiss one another to symbolize mutual forgiveness of past transgressions. Rituals marking stages in the Samal life cycle are a mixture of Islam and folk practices. Folk belief regarding a woman's pregnancy mandates that the husband avoid participation in death rituals in order to ensure a long life for his child. In the presence of the expectant mother, no one should linger at the foot lest the infant also linger in the mother's womb. So, naasam sila ang rituals marking stages. Then, once bitaw magburos ang bayi, dili pwede iyang ginamandate sa ila ang dili pwede ang bana mo kanang bitaw mo attend og kanang mga death ay o kanang mga patay kay buros man iyang asawa for to ensure a long life for his child. Then kuan tuusap sila anang kanang once buros ang bayad ayon dili pwede mo na ay magkuan sa sila bitaw kay mura siya kanang makuhaan din ang bayad. So kani cut again. So from this picture is the Sama Panolak or cleansing ritual. Kaning Sama Panolak or cleansing ritual, paano sila kanang mura man ni siya kanang ritual hapon nila nga kanang bitaw explain. So this picture is the Sama Panolak or cleansing ritual. Sharia or Islamic or divine law warns the mother against abortion. It is also believed that the infant becomes insult by the fourth month, and therefore the mother must be especially careful then. The child's family name is the same as the father's first name. Its first name is usually a Muslim. The child's family name is the same as the father's first name. Its first name is usually a Muslim name, such as Fatima or Muhammad. There is no special festivity or ritual for the naming of the child. So sa ila lahisan sa ila kay ang first name sa ila ang first name sa father sa bata kay mooy family name sa ila ang anak. Lahisan sa ila. When the child turns 1 year old, the parents perform a folk ritual called magkaha. The child is brought to the tampat or ancestor's graveyard, considered sacred to prevent the Satan or evil spirits from causing ill fortune for the family or the child's illness or death. So, inig mag 1 year na ang bata is na sila ay folk ritual called magkaha, which kanaabit ang bata is kanaang dadon dito sa kanaang bibingan sa kanang ilang ancestors like kanang sa lola or loloy nana kay considered as sacred daw na siya to prevent the evil spirits para sa kanaang ilaang kanang dili sila makalag-sakit ang ilang pamilya. So courtship. A young couple's marriage plans are made with the parents' consent. So parehasab siya sa ato karon nga murag para bitaw ng parents consent ka na ang mura sa atwa ka na ang ito ano bitaw pamalayin mura na siya ba na. But other relatives are involved as well. Once the final agreement has been reached and the wedding date has been set, the boy's family is given enough time to raise the dowry in the form of cash, cattle, rice, and jewelry. So mura siya gitawag ng ato na lugaran nga sa mga Muslim or sa isang people da kanaang dori nila before ang ilaang wedding. Islamic law allows polygamy or polygamy man siya up to 4 wives who all must be treated equally. However, polygamy is usually practiced only by the daughter or the woman. So, pwede sab sila ang kanang allow sab sila ang kanaang daghang asawa o upat ka 4 wives. Death rituals are a mixture of Islamic and folk rituals. Nasab sila yung death rituals. Maura to ang ilaang yung ilaang sama political system ug ang ilaang traditional.
Sama tribe religious beliefs and practices. The Sama's belief system has been described as folk Islam because it is a combination of Islamic and folk beliefs. Islamic and folk beliefs are the warding of spirits with incantations and magic amulets and reciting verses of the Quran to bring about miraculous healings. Like other Muslims, they believe in the 5 pillars of faith, celebrate Islamic holidays, and congregate at designated times of the year to listen to the khutbah or imam's sermon. They also believe that the world is divided into Dar al-Islam or Muslim territory and Dar al-Harb or non-Muslim territory, and that if Dar al-Islam is invaded, every Muslim is obliged to defend it to the extent of waging jihad or holy war. Holy war is a They also believe that the world is divided into Dar al-Islam or Muslim territory and Dar al-Harb or non-Muslim territory, and that if Dar al-Islam is invaded, every Muslim is obliged to defend it to the extent of waging jihad or holy war. Holy war means struggle or exertion. Gubat mo ni siya ang kuan, ang gubat nga gisang ka alang sa kuan relihiyosong katuyuan. The 5 pillars of faith are the declaration of one's faith in one God and His messengers. There is but one God, and Muhammad is His prophet. Prayer 5 times daily at dawn, noon, afternoon, sunset, and night. Obligatory and voluntary almsgiving, fasting during the Ramadan, and pilgrimage to Mecca at least once in one's lifetime. Pilgrimage to Mecca is a physically demanding journey that Muslims believe offers a chance to wipe clean past sins and start anew before God. Next is, the Ramadan is a month-long period of fasting when Muslims abstain from eating, drinking, and any other form of pleasure from sunrise to sunset. It commemorates the month when Allah revealed the Quran to the Prophet Muhammad. The Quran is the source of all principles and ordinances that Muslims live by. It covers all aspects of a Muslim religious, social, and political life. It defines the 5 pillars of faith and includes civil and criminal laws on marriage, divorce, adultery, and social relationships. It is part of the curriculum in every Muslim school where it is learned in Arabic verse. So, ang Ramadan is a part na siya sa 5 pillars of faith. Ang Ramadan is muna siya ang panahon na required ang mga Muslims na mag-fasting up to 29 to 30 days. Ang mga Muslims kay dili lang mukaon or miinom from sunrise to sunset. Ang ilang buhaton aside sa mag-fasting sila is ilang i-confess ilang faith bitaw nga gitawag nila og shahada. Mag-ampo sila 5 times a day nga na-mention ganiha sa 5 pillars of faith. Mag-provide sila og charity o maato sila sa holy city of Mecca para didto nila buhaton ang pilgrimage or tinuuhan nila nga gidemand physically na maghatag og chance na malimpyo ang imong nabuhat na sala. So, kaniniya siya, mo niya ang gitawag nila nga mosque.
Okay.
Praise daily in the direction of the ancient mosque Kaaba in Mecca. Male Muslims are obliged to attend prayer congregation every Friday at the mosque, where they also listen to the khutbah, which is guided by the teachings of Islam, namely the Tawheed, oneness of Allah, Sharia, and preachings on the social, political, and religious way of life. So, ang khutbah is a primary formal occasions for public preaching in the Islamic tradition. Like, para po sa Catholic nga magtudlo o kanang mga Bible verses. The sermon is also delivered at the Hari Raya Puasa, which marks the end of the Ramadan period, and at the Hari Raya Haji, which marks the end of the pilgrimage to Mecca. Hari Raya Puasa is a time of forgiveness within the Muslim community and a time for strengthening of bonds among relatives and friends. And the Hari Raya Haji is also known as Aidila Dua, or the Great Day of Sacrifice, is a Muslim festival that falls on the 10th day of Dhul-Hijjah, or the 12th month in the Islamic calendar. This includes Allah's time to Adam after his exile from paradise, Allah's rescue of Noah from the ark, Allah's rescue of Jonas from the belly of the whale, and Allah's appearance before Moses. Kanduli food offerings and prayers specific to each occasion are made on Muslim holidays, such as the official start of Ramadan or on the day of Ashura, also locally called Tubak Bala, when significant events in the history of Islam are recalled. A folk practice is the Panulak Bala, or the cleansing day. Offerings of yellow rice, a live chicken, eggs, betel nut, and native cakes are placed on a raft that is allowed to drift out to sea, as observed among the Samasisangat and Manubol. The offerings may also be done in a house. There is a great diversity of cultural practice among various Sama subgroups. So, Kitulak Bala is mo na siya ang mag-offer sila og katong mga yellow rice, katong buhi nga manok, tas ilanang ipakuan kanang ipaanod sa dagat nga, tapos ilang obserbahan or subaybayan sa lugar nga sisangat o manubol. The essence of good is personified by Tuhan, and that of evil by Satan or Satan. Both terms are of Arabic origin. Although Tuhan is perceived as more powerful than Satan, the Sama's concept of him is vaguer than that of Satan, who seems to have definite human characteristics. Satan causes illness and death among humans. When the panday or the midwife or angubat or the medicine man cannot diagnose the cause of a person's death or illness, it is assumed that Satan has eaten one of the internal vital organs. Ang Tuhan is another term of Lord or God. Tapos, ang Satan is, muna siya ang espiritu nga namat. So, ang Satan is, muna siya ang espiritu sa namatay nga ninuno na nagdemand pagyapon og atensyon sa iyang kaubanan, pinaagian ng magkasakit ang ubang member sa family bitaw kinana. Like, pareha sa ato sa Catholic, like, if kana ang duawon ta sa ato ang mga apuhan nga namatay na or sa maghilantan ta, like ina pareha pud sa ila. A sick child who is believed to have been possessed by Satan is entrusted to the angubat because his curative methods do not offend the spirit. The cure is a combination of herbs, and that the tawal, prayers in Arabic taught by an angubat to his apprentice. This is a towel for every type of illness. To ward off Satan's attacks, one may offer special prayers or food and wear anting-anting or amps or charms. A dying person's last breath is the ngawa, the spirit escaping to travel to the afterlife. Some Sama believe that judgment is rendered on those who have died, the good going to Sulga, or a place of happiness, and the bad to Nalka, or a place of fire. Many of them believe in the Lutaw, ghosts of people who have led evil lives. The Lutaw kill people by sucking their blood or the air out of their lungs. They emit a strong, foul odor and take a variety of horrible forms such as a white tentacle-like shape. The Lutaw cannot swim, but they can float over water or hitch a ride on someone's boat. They live in the mountains. So, mo na siya agad tong manayitsura sa white tentacle-like shape. So, on the 28th December 1953, the Apostolic Prefecture of Jolo was established, and on 12 July 1958 was raised to an Apostolic Vicariate. Although the propagation activities of the Vicariate of Jolo were focused on the islands of Jolo, Bungao, Sihasi, Cagayan de Tawi-Tawi, Batu-Batu, Sibuto, Sitangkay, and Tabawan, their mission in Tawi-Tawi did have a profound impact on the life of the Sama. Oblates of Mary Immaculate Missionary Prize in the Vicariate set up Notre Dame schools, which admitted both Christians and Muslims. In 1951, the Notre Dame of Tawi-Tawi in Bungao was founded by Bishop George Dion and Father Emile Lakire. Their mission included the improvement of the people's well-being by means of economic projects, housing, education, cooperatives, social development projects, and health programs. These have added considerably to the influence of the non-Muslim outsiders on the Sama. The Catholic nuns have also done missionary work in Tawi-Tawi. In 1968, medical mission sisters Loretta de Guzman, Scholastica Los Baños, and Lina Reldons opened the Holy Family Hospital in Bungao, the second working hospital in the entire Sulu archipelago since the first was built in Jolo. In 2003, the medical mission sisters turned over the management of the HFH to the Parhimpunan Paghambukan Hapamaranan Sinkauman, or the PPPK, an organization composed of local community health workers. The Sama's interactions and collaborations with Christian missionaries and settlers have since resulted in changes in their culture, livelihood, and general way of life. Sama tribe traditional houses and community. A Sama kinship group of 100 to 500 members lives in a cluster of houses, usually standing on wooden pilings on the seashore. Each group is affiliated with the nearest mosque. This Sama community may be located within a larger non-Sama town. So, ang mga Sama community kay possibly na locate ra dool sa mga non-Sama town. An architectural structure that was declared a National Historical Landmark in 2013 is the Sheikh Makdoum Mosque in Tawi-Tawi. In 1380, Sheikh Karimul arrived in Simunol and established a Sharia justice system, convincing local leaders to convert. He built a mosque in Bohe Indangan and was buried next to it. Many Muslims in Mindanao still visit both the mosque and the grave of Sheikh Makdoum. So, si Sheikh Karimul Makdoum ang nagtukod og mosque sa Buhi Indangan. Maong pagkamatay niya, dito ra sab siya gilubong, and ang mosque kay gisunod sa iya ang ngalan. So, mauna karon ang Sheikh Makdoum Mosque sa Tawi-Tawi nga na-declare as historical landmark nitong 2013. So, Sama houses built on dry land belong to those who are engaged in farming. In Western Sulu, the houses are completely over tidal mud flats or reefs. In eastern Sulu and Basilan, water reaches the supporting posts only at high tide. Most of the Sama who occupy the smaller collar islands of Sulu and Tawi-Tawi build their houses on piles driven to the reef floor but still connected to the shore, and not to one another by a labyrinth of walkways and bridges. The elevation of the house depends on the maximum high tide level in the area. This is necessary in order to accommodate their outrigger fishing boats, which are tied underneath the house when not in use. The Sama may also form strand settlements called kungkuman, which are accessible only by boat. A kungkuman consists of 4 to 6 houses spaced 5 to 6 meters apart to allow for the passage of a vinta or muna siya ang bangka. Members of the kungkuman when they go out to sea as a fleet comprises a bundaan. So, ang Sama is nasab na sila yung mga asay sila yung lugar nga kung mag-settle ang naay dapat i-settle bitaw like sa atwa nga kuan ipatawag og barangay kay murag if naay magsamok inana bitaw sa nasab sila yung ila mo ay gitawag nila og kumkuman nga maabot or maadtura kung mosakay og bangka. The typical dwelling place is made of bamboo and nipa, coconut lumber and bakawan mangrove, nipa or sawali for the roof and walls, bamboo for the stairs and flooring, and coconut wood, bakawan or other tree trunks for the posts and other structural supports. Instead of trusses, horizontal beams supporting the weight of the roof and placed outside rather than inside the structure because the roof is low. So, mo na siya ang mangrove. Tas, ganun siya, mosab na ang tawag na trusses. The pantan or open porch or terrace is a prominent feature of Sama dwellings. Usually facing the east, it serves as a space for drying fish, woodworking, and preparing cassava. It is also the children's playground, a gathering place for families, or a place to hold rituals. Traditional houses used to be very tall and large, some of them 2 stories high with balconies and elaborate carvings. This was large because the typical household was an extended family ranging from 2 to 15 and clear families under one roof. This type of house, however, it's becoming extinct. The Sama houses now consist of a single room for lounging, sleeping, and dining. There are no partitions in the house, and depending on the economic status of the owner, it may be sparsely furnished or richly decorated with buras. The door faces out to sea, and boats moored face the open waters to make escape easier should invasion or raids occur. So the space below the house serves not only as a shelter for the boat and fishing paraphernalia, but also as the bathroom and laundry room. Nipa and corrugated iron are used as roofing material. Rainwater from the roof is collected because it is the Sama's main drinking water, wood for walls, floors, and planks, which used to be hand cut by the Sama from local trees are now bought from stores.
The traditional attire of the Sama consists of either everyday wear or elaborately embroidered costumes for special occasions. The katadyong ubiquitous tube-shaped cloth found in Mindanao and the Visayas is large enough to fit any person and is worn by both men and women. It has many uses. It's worn either as a skirt or a gown tucked in a place at chest level. It can serve as putong, head cover, waistband, sash, blanket, hammock, shoulder bag, cradle, pouch, hood, or pillow. So, ang patadjong, pwede siya magamit sa head, pwede siya ikuan sa waist, o blanket, hammock. Patterns woven in the patadjong are checks and stripes. So, ang iyang patterns kay check o kuan kanang stripes bitaw. So, more elaborate ones worn for special occasions may have batik, print, or tie-dye floral and geometric patterns. Ang geometrics kay katong murag siya basta. Pag the sawal kancho, loose trousers. So, ang sawal kancho na siya loose trousers like bukhan bitaw sa ubos. Also worn by neighboring ethnic groups is made of plain or printed cotton cloth for everyday wear. The sawal that is made of richer fabric is reserved for special occasions and worn by the women with a sablay or biyatawi. On such occasions, men wear with a badja lapi jacket. The women's sablay is a loose-sleeved blouse reaching down of the hip. So, a simpay band forms the front opening and extends to the back to form a small collar. The fabric determines whether the sablay is for everyday wear or special occasions. It is fastened in front with ordinary pins or a karusang, a set of 3 brooches. The sablay is worn with a patadjong or a sawal kancho and topped by either a kamban, silk or brocade shawl, or a papanda, scarf of filmy material. A blouse worn for special occasion is the long-sleeve, tight-fitting, dark-colored biyatawi. It has a deep K-hole neckline and size that flare that waist-running stitches and tamboko, small metal or gold buttons. Run along the seams at the wrist, shoulders, neckline, and if any, the collar. So the panya, a large handkerchief, is worn to cover that part which the biyatawi's K-hole neckline sleeves bear. The biyatawi may also be worn with a siyag, a more elaborately embroidered patadjong, also called habol or hos, which is worn with one corner slang on one shoulder or arm. So the men roll up the patadjong or sawal kancho and tuck the upper corners at the waistband to make the bahag, which is more convenient to wear to work, for either per diving, fishing, or wood carving. For special occasions, the sawal kupot, mahaba, long, tight-fitting trousers are worn. It is held at the waist by a strip of cotton cloth called a kandit, a tasseled kandit made of katsa muslin and embroidered with blanket stitches in vibrant colors at the both ends. It is the saputangan used for religious occasions like manimba sila, muna ilang suoton. So worn with sawal is the badja, lapi, a hip-long collarless jacket with long tight sleeves, always worn open in front. So both sides of the opening and the seams under the arms and on the shoulders are decorated with silk or cotton cord and tamboko. The piece is a large kerchief folded and dropped to make several variations of a headgear, or to be used as a handkerchief, carry-all, or sling. The piece siyabit with hand-woven geometric pattern is used by the relatively well-to-do. During prayers, some men wear the kupiya, a headgear made of black velvet and bedded for special occasions such as weddings or special Muslim holidays. So the men roll up the patadjong or sawal kanchu and tuck the upper corners at the waistband to make the bahag, which is more convenient to wear to work, either for diving, fishing, or wood carvings. Or for special occasions, the sawal puput, mahaba, long, tight-fitted trousers are worn.
Poetry, folktale, and stories of Sama people. Literary historian tends to fuse the literary history of the Sama and Tausug of Tawi-Tawi and Sulu because Tawi-Tawi was part of Sulu until political separation in 1973. Some of the Sama pre-Islamic tradition shared with the Tausug are the Kwaan, Kata-Kata, Kisa, and Usulan. Other traditions such as the Salsila. So Sulu and Tawi-Tawi used to be one same province, but former President Ferdinand Marcos was divided them into two separate provinces by virtue of Presidential Decree number 302. Early in Sama and Tausug, poetic tradition includes the Naman and Tarasol, which are poetic dialogues characterized by heavy symbolized and imaginary. The influence of this poetic tradition it shows in the language of the riddles, called tigom-tigom or tukod-tukod, and masaala, both highly compressed literary form. So ang ilang poetic tradition issues in the language of the riddles called tigom-tigom or tukod-tukod. So the tigom-tigom is a verse whereas the masaala is a prose. The Sama narrative prose of folktale, generically called kata-kata or kana-kana, is a term also used to refer especially to its trickers tales, with a pusong as the central character. Other Sama narrative form are origin myth, animal tales, numbskull tales, magical tales, and novelistic tales. The Sama have kata-kata to explain the origin foods, stars, and formation of land. They also have tales about dragons, angels, ogres, prince, and princesses. Sama people musical tradition. The Sama musical tradition is closely related to those of the other group in the Sulu area. So the oldest musical form is the logo. Logo is a song of religious and social function and has melancholy toned and slow tempo. The Tinis Tinis is relatively recent form is a ballad and may be sung extemporaneously on any occasion like fishing and by anyone, but especially by a young man for his sweetheart. The same melody may be used for different sets of lyrics. Like the Tinis Tinis, the Liling is an improvisational song for any occasion. So ang ginakanta pod nila ni especially sa mga occasion like kasal, pag-alot o pagtulog. The bamboo cyclophone arranged in the size and tone like the kolintangan. A variation of the gabang and kolintangan is a bintang, a cyclophone with a knob metal bar. String instrument, the git-git, and what? A former of a native guitar made of coconut shell and two string of horsehair. It has a long wooden handle. The buala is a four-string violin. So ang bamboo cyclophone ang ilang instruments nga pinakagusto or permi nilang ginagamit. The woodwind instrument are the bamboo float, suling, sagnay, saunay, and pulaw. The suling is a 38 centimeters long and 2.54 centimeters in diameter, with 3 to 6 holes. In the mouth holes, it wraps with a thin strip of dried palm leaf. The saunay is a 20 to 30 centimeter long and 1.25 centimeter in diameter, with a 4 or 5 holes, from midway down to the ends of pandan and coconut leaf bell. The pulaw is a bigger and longer float that produces a deeper sound. In addition, the kulaing is a bamboo mouth harp 20 centimeters long and 3.8 centimeters wide and very thin. Its sound is produced by 6 centimeter strip that is partially cut from the middle. One end is held on the mouth with one hand, while the finger of the other hand taps the strip to make it vibrate. Sama tribe folk dance tradition and ritual. The Sama dance tradition have much the common with other ethnic groups of Sulu, especially the Tausug. The basic traditional dance movement is the igal or pangalay, which is performed by the female. The attire for igal is the sablay or bayatawi and the sawal. The hair preferably pulled back in a bun, although it may also allow to hang loose. The dance accompanied by the kolintangan symbol or simply by the gabang. Almost all traditional Sama dance are variants of pangalay or igal and kuntao. They may be classified as entertainment or exhibition, occupational, the religious of ceremonial dance. So there are 5 different types of pangalay. First is bola. Is is a pangalay which is both male and female dancer use bamboo or shell clapper. Second is the pamansak, also called igal taas putong. Patong is a pangalay of the woman dancing on top of the pair of bamboo poles are carried on the shoulders of 2 men. Third is the langka sayaw. Is a mock fight between 2 male dancers, each carrying a shield and a budjak or lance which they place on the ground. Third is tauti, the defect of the fisher who failed to make a good catch with a hook and line and resort using the sap of tubli or a poisonous vein. Fifth is the sambulayang or pangalay. Pangantin is a wedding dance in which of the bride hidden from the groom view by sambulayang or flag that is tied to a bamboo pole. A pre-Islamic dance ritual or exhibition which is the magumbo named the umbo or Lord Ancestor. It is a ritual to cure whose illness it has been diagnosed to have been caused by the Satan. The center of this dance is offering of the grain lotion called tonic, betel nuts, and food. These are set of tray that is placed on a wooden bed enclosed in a mosquito net. The panglima or imam enter the net and pray. He then emerge from the net in the possessed state. He takes a budyak and makes thrusting movement toward the net as he dances around it. Occasionally, he thrusts the lance of another person who has also fallen into a trace and dance with the shaman. Near the ends of the rituals, the panglima hits the patient